All right, everybody, welcome to the Wannabes Racing League right here on YouTube. My name is Racer X, the commentator for the Wannabes Racing League. This is actually our second season for the Wannabes Racing League, our third race, but this is the first ever live stream. We are going to be going racing in Sochi, Russia in moments time. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown as to what's been going on from Season 2 so far. Our previous race winners have been Dougie Falcon, who's won 2 races so far in Abu Dhabi, and the USA race, which was our race from last week. And then one of the other winners was XJ Schmidt, who won our second race in... Oh, wait, actually. Alright, so apparently we're waiting on a little bit of some other racers in the meantime. Alright, looks like we're about to get going, and we are going to get into Sochi, Russia. So, let me give you a little bit of the rundown in terms of how the race is going to go. So it's a short qualifying for about 18 minutes. So after that, we'll go into a 50% race, and then we will go from there. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown in terms of a little bit about the Sochi Autodrome. This track was made back in 2014. That was actually when it's made its debut. Believe it or not, this is actually the track that was home to the Olympic Park during the 2014 Winter Olympics. Of course, you got some noticeable arenas, for instance, like the Bolshoi Arena, which held a lot of the Olympic hockey games, and then the Fish Arena, which you could see on the left side of your screen just a moment ago. That hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the Olympic Winter Games, and also was a stadium for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. And okay, apparently it said 3 laps, but okay, so we're gonna now go 18 minutes. I don't know why it said 3 laps at one point. All right, so let's give a rundown of the Sochi Autodrome. So the Sochi Autodrome, it's 5.5 kilometers, over 3 miles, 18 turns. It's a fairly tire-friendly track. You're going to probably see quite a bit more of a one-stop strategy. For instance, if you're going to be starting on the softs in, let's say, a 50% race, that's probably going to be like you're going to go from soft to medium, because it's pretty good actually when it comes to the medium compound tires. It doesn't wear very much. I mean, unlike, let's say, Bahrain and China, those kind of tracks are definitely going to be like tire killers, but this is not going to be like that. And it looks like we're going to get some cars out on the track. And believe it or not, let's go ahead and give you a little bit of the data. So, as you can see, like, I have the full track map data. As you know, this was a recent update by Codemasters. So now I can practically see who's out on the track. So currently it looks like we have Alpha and looks like 2 Williams and I believe that's a Mercedes. Let's go ahead and go to the Alpha. I think let's see. So I believe that is Danny Rick, so he's on his out lap first. All right, so he's out first, and it looks like he's going to start off with a medium compound. It looks like there's an incident in turn 3. I'm going to check out who that is real quickly. It appears to be Steve, I guess, got a little bit of a tangle. I'm not sure by who. It might have been by Ferrari, or who knows. But anyways, let's go to Danny Rick as he's going to finish his out lap, and I'm going to go ahead and ride on board with him as he goes to the final corners into turn 16, and now he's approaching turn 17 and 18. And let's go ahead and give you the telemetry. Also, this will show you how fast he's going and how much ERS he is burning off. So he's going to run hot lap. Now he's going to go down a long straight. This is about over a mile long straight. As you can see now, he's opening the DRS, going into a sweeping right-hander, going to go down that straight at 208 miles an hour. and he's going to brake right there into turn 2. Good entry there into turns 2 and 3. Now we're going to go towards the center of Olympic Park into turn 4 as he makes a good little run. Runs a little bit of curve there, and he's got a good entry there into turn 5. Now we're going to approach into turn 6. This is the first end of the sector. Excuse me, the first sector, end of the first sector. Now we're approaching, it looks like there's an incident between a Mercedes and it looks like Dougie Falcon went off the track for a bit. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened. I'm not sure if he had a little incident there on the outlap, but anyways, now back onto Danny Rick as he's going to approach towards the second DRS zone into turns 13 and 14. This is quite a tight braking zone as he's going to go down into the brakes right there. Good flip into the ripple strip underneath the bridge. Now approaching into turns 15 and 16. This is a tight turns of left and right. And finally, he's going to approach another straight towards the final corners of turn 17. Does not clip that apex, goes into 18. Oh, he clipped the apex there. He's going to get invalidated. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, let's see. Let me try to find who's close to at least close to ending their lap. It looks like Alex just made a lap time of 1 minute 33.5 on the medium compound tires. Tosbury gets a 1:34.6. He's going to P3. Row E gets a 1:33.0 on the soft compound tires. Excuse me. Good time there from him. And Tay Lunacy of the Toro Rosso gets a 1:36.3, but he gets bumped into P6. Very Lazy Towel came across the line with a 1 minute 33.8 on the medium tires. MJ Coleman 1 minute 33.8. Still got a little bit more drivers to go through as we go down the way, but we'll see where they stand after their first runs. And Cracker Jack hits the wall right there. Harass came across the line at a 1:42 in the medium tires, so he's going to have to work on a little bit of pace there. Steve got a 1:36.4 on the soft compound tires. So far we've got at least 10 drivers now. As Sick and Destroy comes across the line with a 1 minute 36.3 on the, it looks like he got the hard tires on. Okay, that's a very interesting strategy there. So it seems like he's going more of the harder compound strategy, I guess for now. And so far yet to run is Hellbent, and we're going to go check on him real quick as he goes underneath the bridge, and we're going to ride on board with him as he goes into turns 15 and 16. Looks like there's a Haas ahead of him, and it's Blue Dog that spins around. Now he's going to, and Hellbent just got his lap invalidated as well. Very unfortunate, and it looks like we got another driver come across the line. That was Dougie Falcon. He runs a 1:33.4 on the medium tires. My goodness, what a lap there by Dougie Falcon. Of course, he is one of the favorites in this. He also is the Wannabes Racing League champion from last season. As of course you know, this is also our first ever live stream for the Wannabes Racing League, but I'm very fortunate to do it for today. Now let's take a look at the Schmeg in the Alfa Romeo as Krakachuk gets out of the way, and looks like he had his lap invalidated, so he will not make his time there. And we're going to see XJ Schmitz. We're going to stay on board, and actually we're going to go, actually, scratch that. We'll just go just a little bit outwards. He goes across underneath the bridge. Now he's going to go into turn 15, 16. This will be his the end of his outlap coming up. But let's check on Danny Rick as, we got a purple sector into sector 1. Okay, this is pretty promising so far. It looks like he got on the new soft compound tires. As long as he does not get invalidated like he did in the last time. Lifts that apex there very nicely. Now he's going to go into the second DRS zone, and he's got a McLaren ahead of him. I don't know if he is on his outlap, but I think I'm pretty sure there's a McLaren ahead of him. I'm not entirely sure, or that could be a Haas Anyways, look, Row E just set up another fastest lap with a 1 minute 32.5. So far, Row E is looking to be a pretty good fighter so far in this qualifying session. Danny Rick coming across the final quarters now approaching the final turns at 17 and 18. Remember, this is where he also got invalidated on his first attempt. Does not get validated this time, comes across the line and gets P2 with a 1 minute 32.9, about 4/10 off of Row E, but so far a good lap from him. Now we got 10 minutes left in the session, still have yet to have at least 6 cars make a time so far. That is Reedy 98, NBC Alcatraz, Hellbent 001, Banana Cake Pie, XJ Schmidt, Blue Dog 10, and the Schmeg are yet to make a lap time. As we're going to check on see who's out. I think we're going to check on XJ Schmidt real quick as he got his lap invalidated. Now the thing you got to remember though about this track is that if you cut these corners, they are really unforgiving. But he's going to come across the line. He'll try to go for another lap. So this time he went for a little bit of cool down. Oh, looks like a Toro Rosso got sideways. I think that was Reedy, but I think he got across the line with a 1 minute 35.7. That move bumps him up into 10th place. Let's go ahead and check and see if I can find anybody else that's getting close. At Hellbent, he was close into getting to finish the lap, but he also got validated as he goes wide to underneath the bridge. Let's check on back. We're going to check on Blue Dog real quick. Let's see where he's at. He's just in the going towards turn 1, so we'll check on him in a little bit later. XJ Schmidt, now he's going to be approaching towards the end of the second sector, going to the second DRS zone. Very nice entry there into the apex. Now opens up that DRS. Going down that straight at nearly 200 miles an hour, and he'll get down there towards the bridge, flips that apex very nicely. As we ride it nearly on board with him. I kind of like this camera though, by the way. Now it goes towards 14 and 15, or excuse me, 15 and 16. Rubbing that curve a little bit. And there's a caution somewhere in sector 1. I'm not quite sure what happened. Oh, there's a purple sector there. I'm not quite sure who that was, but I'll check on that in a little bit. As XJ Schmidt goes across the line with a 1 minute 32.8 on the medium tires. So he was faster than Dougie on the medium set. Oh, okay. Yeah, the thing is, though, is Dougie's also probably one of the favorites. But XJ, if you got to remember, though, XJ Schmidt is an ARL2 champion. So he also is one of the top runners in this class as well. And it looks like we have another driver that came across the line. Let me check on that real quick, and that was Blue Dog. He finally got a lap down, a 1 minute 33.9 on the soft compound tires that puts him into 11th. So we have yet to have 3 drivers to at least put down a lap. And I take that back. Now we have a lap down, and that's by Hellbent. He sets a 1 minute 33.8 on the soft tires. That puts him into 8th place. So got a good little position there for Hellbent. Remember, he got his very first podium this year so far in the Wannabes League. So far yet to do a lap is Banana Cake Pie and the Schmeg, as he's doing a lap right now on the medium compound tires. We'll check on him in a little bit. It looks like there's a Williams that's about to cross the line. Let me check on that. I think that's Rudy, and no, he goes into the pits because his lap got invalidated. So let's check on that. I think there's a Renault that's going across the line just about now, I think. Nope, I take that back. Looks like they're all going back into the pits just to work on another strategy. But Sick and Destroy is doing an out lap right now, or excuse me, a lap right now in the medium tires. So we'll check on him in a moment. Looks like there's an Alpha that's about to cross the line in a moment. I think that's the Schmeg. Is he going to finally put a lap down as he comes around towards the turns 12 and 13. It seems like he got a little bit wide, and now going into 14, turn 14, and now going into the DRS zone. I think. Oh, excuse me. I think that was 13. Excuse me. Oh, look at that. He's got the purple sector there. Now he goes underneath the bridge towards 13, 14. Okay, that's 13, 14. Excuse me. Now this is turns 15 and 16. So looks like this lap's looking pretty promising for him. Now we're going to go into turn 17. He's got a good lap ahead of him. Goes down into fourth gear, clips that apex very beautifully. Now clips the other apex there, coming across the line in a 1 minute 33.7. That puts him into 9th place. And it looks like there was an incident between a Red Bull and a Mercedes. I'm not sure who that was by. And now looks like most of everybody's going into the pits momentarily to put on a new set of tires. So far what I'm seeing there is that it's going to be based on strategy. I would say that XJ is looking in a really comfortable spot so far because he set that time in, and Harass goes into pole position with a 1 minute 32.2. A solid lap from him that puts him into first, and he did that in the soft compound tires. But if I'm XJ, I would say I have the better strategy right now because I could stretch those tires throughout the race. I'm thinking if you're on those soft tires, you're probably going to be, and looks like there's a Ferrari that retired, and excuse me if I didn't catch that earlier, but it looked like Hellbent retired, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. Let's go ahead and check on some other drivers in a little bit. Let's go check on Banana Cake Pie and see what he's doing. It looks like he's going back to the pits because his lap got invalidated. Now let's check on the Schmeg. It looks like he's going to be going to the pits as well. Very lazy towel. It looks like he's going on an out lap, or excuse me, it looks like he's about to do a lap, I think. He opens up that DRS. He's running that now into overtake mode. Going down towards turns 13 and 14 towards the bridge. Now he goes underneath the bridge. He's got a purple sector so far. Can he beat Harass's 1 minute 32.2? Clips the apex there of 15. Now clips the apex of 16. Now coming towards turn 17. The Ferrari looking to be a promising lap for him. Clips that apex there nicely. Rubs the curb there. Got two wheels off that curb. Comes around across the line. 1 minute 32 flat by the very lazy towel. That puts him on provisional pole. Great lap from the Ferrari. So far, the running order is Very Lazy Towel in P1, Harass P2, Rowie P3, XJ Schmidt P4, Toes Rody P5, Danny Rick P6, Dougie Falcon P7, Alex 96, New Zealand P8, Banana Cake Pie P9, and Cracker Jack in P10, rounding off the top 10. So far, I'm actually a little bit surprised by Dougie Falcon. He's actually in the lowest spot he could be, because not only that he is in 7th, but he's below XJ, who also set a time faster than him on the medium set. Now, question is for XJ, is he going to run another session or another lap? And it looks like Rudy retired. Okay, so Toes Rudy retired from the session. I'm not entirely sure, and looks like there's flags, yellow flags everywhere. Let me try to see what I can find. There's an incident in turns 17 and 18 and turn 4. And Cracker Jack's just moving really slowly. Maybe trying to let someone by? I'm not sure. And he completely cuts the corner and his lap is invalidated. Okay, that is really interesting. Let's see what Lucy got. It looks like he's trying to build off some toe from the racing point. I believe that's Banana Cake Pie. I think that's right in front of him. So I'm not sure if you're gonna try to build toe though, especially on your out lap. I'm not sure if that's even worth it, to be quite honest with you. So it looks like Sick. Let's see where you're at. It looks like he's going towards the second DRS zone, about to make his final lap. He's got like 27 seconds left in the session. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. We'll look at the other drivers in a moment, but for right now we're riding on board with Sick and Destroy of the Renault, and he goes wide after turn 14. And another yellow in sector 3, right behind Sick. Okay, looks like the incident has been cleared. The session's now going to come to an end. And it looks like Sick and Destroy is going to come across the line into P17 with a 1:34.2 in the soft compound tires. Now let's look at Greedy. He comes across the line 1:33. Does not improve. Let's see if I can find any more. It looks like we got MJ Coleman. I think he's the closest one. And there's an incident in the 3rd sector. I'm not quite entirely sure what's going on. It looks like there's a Williams, I think, that's trying to make a lap. I think, but I don't know. MJ Coleman's going to come around the final turns and clips that apex of the 17th turn, now to the 18th turn, come across the line in P14 and does not improve. Now let's take a look at the Schmeg. He's another closest one so far. Let's see what he can do. Looks like Banana Cake Pie. He just went into provisional pole. 1:31.9. That puts him into P4. P1. Dougie Falcon now goes into P1 with a 1:31.5 on the soft tires. XJ Smith come across the line 2/10 slower and put his second fastest, 1:31.7. And Cracker Jack's coming across the line in. Looks like, I think he got 9th. He got 8th, excuse me. So, that is now the end of your qualifying session. And now on to the race. Now, this is the running order. Dougie Falcon in P1, XJ Schmidt in 2nd, Banana Cake Pie in 3rd, Variant Lazy Towel in 4th, Harass in 18 in 5th, Rowie in 6th, NBC Alcatraz in 7th, Cracker Jack 19 in 8th, Toes Rudy New Zealand 9th, and Danny Rick 03 round out the top 10. Alex 96 New Zealand 11th, the Schmeg in 12th, Hellbent in 13th, MJ Coleman in 14th, Blue Dog in 15th, Reedy 98 in 16th, 7th, Sick and Destroy 206 in 17th, Tay Lunacy 18th, and rounding off the bottom of the grid is Steve 2R Yip. I think that's, excuse me if I'm not saying that correctly, round off the top, round off the order. All right, so it looks like the top runners, from what I see, are going to be running on the softs. But the question is, how long are they going to stretch these soft tires? I'm thinking if they do not wear these tires out, because this track is not really too well known for wearing out your tires, but I think you can go at least 9 or 10 laps, I would say, in the race. For the soft tires. Now, let's go ahead and give you a rundown of what the order is again. Dougie Falcon, 97 in P1. SJ Schmidt in P2. Banana Cake Pie, P3. Very Lazy Towel, P4. Harass 18 in P5. Rowie in P6. Oh, it looks like he got a grid penalty. Oh, no, he did not get a grid penalty. Excuse me. Forget what I just said there. NBC Alcatraz in P7. Cracker Jack 19. P8. Toes Rudy, New Zealand, P9. Danny Rick in P10. Alex 96, P11. The Schmeg, P12. Hellbent, 001, P13. MJ Coleman, 88, P14. Blue Dog 10, P15. Greedy 98 underscore. Yes, I'm going to include that underscore too. P16. Sick and Destroy 206, P17. Tay Lunacy, P18. Steve JR24, yep, in P19. So actually, I was correct on that. So it looks like they're going to get their warm-up formation lap done, just get those tires all warmed up. So, yeah, basically what I'm going to say is that you're basically going to see how far you're going to stress the tires, but will there be some alternative strategies? I'm not quite entirely sure. But what I would say the best strategy coming into this race is definitely going from the softs and the mediums if you're on the soft compound tires. I know I've said this over and over again, but also be mindful about this track too. This is on strict corner cutting. So anytime you do any strict, basically cut the corners at any part of this track, it's very unforgiving and you will get a penalty for it. And it looks like the drivers are coming around the final turns and they'll be getting ready for the start of this race. All right. The first ever live stream. We're going to go 27 laps around this 3.3 mile circuit, 5.5 kilometers. I'm not sure why the camera's back there, but it should be front. All right, here we go. The lights are going to be coming on. And it's lights out, and away we go here from Russia. It looks like everyone's getting a little bit of a scramble in the middle. Dougie Falcon gets a really good start. Banana Cake Pie going wheel to wheel with XJ Schmidt. It looks like they're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. It's harasses in the middle, and it looks like XJ's trying to make a move, but Banana Cake Pie defends him. Dougie Falcon gets a good run off of turn 3. Now we're going to go into turn 4. Banana Cake Pie getting a little bit of momentum going to turn 4. Now we're to turn 5. Dougie Falcon still maintaining the front. It's followed by Banana Cake Pie. S.J. Schmidt. Harass is still in P4. Very Lazy Towel. Looks like he slipped back a little bit. Danny Rick is in P6. And P7, here's NBC Alcatraz. Wheel to wheel right now with Danny Rick battling for 6th place. Danny Rick defends him in that corner. Now looks like it's going to be single file as we got a little bit of wheel-to-wheel battle between Roe and Crackerjack into turns 11 and 12. And now we're going to go into the second launch straight. Dougie Falcon still maintaining the lead. And it's wheel-to-wheel battle between Danny Rick and NBC Alcatraz into turn 13. And NBC Alcatraz, it looks like he might have a slight advantage, will get Danny Rick. And it looks like, oh, there's a caution somewhere. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to check a look real quickly. And it looks like it's Roe and Sick and Destroy. Oh, no, it's not Sick and Destroy. It's just Roe. So Roe, oh my goodness. He's down into P18. I'm not quite sure what happened to him. Dougie Falcon comes around the final turn. He'll lead the first lap of the race. It's Banana Cake Pie right behind him. SJ Schmidt harassing in 4th. Very Lazy Talon in 5th. NBC Alcatraz in 6th. Crackerjack in 7th. The Schmeg in 8th. Reed 98 in 9th. And Hellbent rounding up the top 10. As we got a little bit of a battle, looks like between Reedy and Hellbent. They're going wheel to wheel, and Hellbent takes the inside, and he gets Reedy. But Reedy's coming back. Reedy's going to go on the inside into turn 4, and he's got a slight advantage going to turn 5, and he's going to get past Hellbent to get P9 so far, and he goes very wide into turn 5. This is some brilliant stuff so far, especially from the middle of the pack. And it looks like MJ Coleman went to the pits. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Looks like he had a bit of wing damage. I'm not entirely sure. He goes very wide into turn 3. And it looks like we have a caution somewhere. It looks like it's between a Haas and a Renault. And it's Steve that got off the track. I'm not entirely sure. And he goes spinning around. And I'm not sure. It looks like his tires might be pretty hot. And yeah, that's not a very good race so far for Steve. But Danny Rick, I don't know what's happened to him. He's gone down into 16th so far. So far it's just a little bit of disappointment so far from Rudy and Danny Rick. I'm not quite entirely sure what happened to those guys, but maybe they'll have a little bit of recordings to find out, as XJ Schmidt, very lazy towel, gets a 3-second time penalty, and so does Reedy 98. Remember, I did say that this track is very unforgiving if you cut these corners. So far, it's XJ and Dougie battling up so far for P1. And XJ is about 5/10 back from Dougie Falcon as we're 3 laps into this race. And Steve gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Yeah, gotta be careful right there, you guys. Let's see if I can find any good battles. It looks like we got a battle here between Hellbent and Blue Dog for P10. It looks like it's just Blue Dog just maintaining the pace so far. And Hellbent gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and especially if you're corner cutting. And it looks like we got a yellow flag. What's happened here? Alex is retired from the race. Alex has spun around and hit the wall. I'm not sure what happened, but he's got... And we got a virtual safety car. And it's because of the incident from Alex. I'm not entirely sure what happened. He's just spun, it looks like, and hit the wall. But a very disappointing race for him as he retires 3 laps in the race. Sick and Destroy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, multiple corner cuts. So far, we're going to be under virtual safety car. It looks like maybe for a little bit. So again, let's give a little of the orders. Dougie Falcon in P1. Alex has left the session. And DRS is now enabled as Dougie gets a good run off the straight there. Getting away from XJ Schmidt. And now it looks like Banana Cake Pie might be trying to close in, but he's conceded a bit of ground here as Very Lazy Towel is staying right behind his diffuser. So far it could be maybe some good battles, maybe in the middle, as the Schmeg gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And the Very Lazy Towel goes very wide. I think he got a warning there. And now going into turn 6, and still the Racing Point still maintained, as looks like Stick and Destroy. What's happened? It looks like he's gone in the pits. He might have suffered some damage. I'm not quite entirely sure. But let's go into the back of the battle there from P3 between the Lazy Towel and the Banana Cake Pie. And it looks like Very Lazy Towel might get DRS. Let's take a look at the telemetry. He is going to get DRS. He's got DRS wide open, but I don't think he's got enough to at least get the Banana Cake Pie as they go towards the bridge. But he does got a purple sector so far. He's got a fast car. That Ferrari is looking pretty good so far. It did look good during qualifying, as Blue Dog and Reedy looks like they got a bit of a tangle, as Blue Dog managed to get 8th place. So far, some good racing in the middle of the pack. And it looks like we're going to go to the final corners, as Lazy Towel is still within 4/10 behind Banana Cake Pie for that final podium spot. He's going to get DRS, and looks like he's going to get it. Remember, it's a good range of DRS. It's a half a mile down the straight, and it looks like, oh, they're going to go wide, but it looks like the Towel gets it easily into P3 as he cuts that corner, but maintains P3. So good racing so far. But it looks like Banana Cake Pie is trying to come back. He's right behind him. He's going to go into turn 5. And looks like the Towel maintains his spot. But Banana Cake Pie, he's trying to fight back. He thought about it for a minute, but he's going to stay behind. Oh, look at that. Oh, Towel gets loose into turn 6. Now into turn 7, and he's still behind him. This is going to be good racing so far between these two. As it looks like they go to, and he's going to go on the inside, and Banana Cake Pie fails to get the Towel. But now they're going to go into the DRS zone. This time Banana Cake Pie will have DRS as Towel goes very wide, and DRS is now wide open for that Racing Point, but he will not have enough. So far, some really good racing between the Very Lazy Towel and the Banana Cake Pie, I've got to say. But it looks like this could be a tangle into the front straight, as, oh, looks like he lost a bit of the back end there going into turn 16. Now into turn 17, Banana Cake Pie still within range of DRS as Dougie Falcon sets the fastest lap with a 1 minute 36.2. So far looking very good for the Mercedes. But now DRS is going to be wide open here for Banana Cake Pie. He's got that DRS flap wide open. It's open. And can he get towards him? No, he cannot. He does not have enough. He did not run overtake, even though he has 60% ERS. But Towel does have about the same range as him so far. Let's take a look and see if we have any other battles going on in the remaining parts of the race. It looks like not yet, but it looks like, actually I take that back. It looks like there could be a battle here between Danny Rick and Rudy for P13. But it looks like Danny Rick's holding his ground here as there's a caution. What's happened? What has happened? It is Schmeg who's lost it. I'm not sure what happened. Towel gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's got now 6 seconds worth of penalties. Some unfortunate events so far for Lazy Towel, even though he's got a fast car. And now Steve's got 6 seconds of penalties. As the Schmeg goes very wide. I don't know what happened. It might have been a tangle, I think, between Reedy and the Schmeg. But from what, I don't know. Maybe the cameras from their cars will reveal at the end of the race. So far, we got Dougie Falcon still maintaining P1, XJ Schmidt P2, Very Lazy Towel maintaining P3, but has 6 seconds of penalties. Banana Cake Pie in P4, NBC Alcatraz in P5, Cracker Jack in P6, Blue Dog in P7, Reedy in 98 in P8, Hellbent 001 in P9, and Roby rounding off the top 10 so far. So far, it looks like we got a little bit of a tango between the Williams and the Alfa Romeo as Toes locks up, but still on the diffuser of Danny Rick as Banana Cake Pie gets a 3-second time penalty, and NBC Alcatraz as well. So far, it looks like there could be a little bit of a battle for P13. We'll check on that maybe in a little bit. But for now, let's go to the front of the pack so far. Dougie Falcon's still maintaining that pace so far. Doing a great job. And NBC Alcatraz still maintaining P5. He's still trying to get within distance of Banana Cake Pie and Towel, but I think those tires might be getting into him or something. And what's happened? Alcatraz has hit the wall. He's retired from the session. What on earth just happened? And we got a virtual safety car again. From Alcatraz's car being in the middle of the track, but how did it happen? I don't know. And Reedy gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. Not some good stuff for Reedy, and Tay Lunacy gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Reedy gets a 3-second penalty. Man, this is no good for Reedy at all. And looks like we're going to go back into green flag racing, and DRS is back to being enabled again. And it looks like Schmidt and Towel are going into the pits for the medium compound tires. Like I said, they are going to be stretching those medium compound tires, but it is the best strategy if you're on the softs. And it looks like Reedy's going to the pits as well. He does have to serve that penalty, remember. He has to serve that drive-through penalty, and he's got some penalties on his back as well. And Cracker Jack, he also gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. My goodness, a lot of drivers getting all these penalties just because of corner cuts. And I've said this over and over again, how unforgiving that this track can be with track limits. You keep exceeding track limits, you're getting those penalties regardless. And it looks like Hellbent is in the pits as well. It looks like he's fitted on the, I want to say it was the medium tires, and it is the medium tires. And Tay Lunacy is too far back. He's not going to get Hellbent, and Hellbent will remain in 12th place. So Dougie Falcon still maintaining that pace. He's still on those soft tires, but remember, XJ did just pit just recently for those medium tires. Will this undercut work? He was within, I think he was within about 3.5 seconds. That's a pretty fair range there if you want to, like, let's say, close the gap. And it looks like Dougie Falcons is still going to stay out there as he goes into the ninth lap, still leading this race with a wide margin. Banana Cake Pie now goes in the pits, and it looks like it will be an overtake from Crackerjack, but yet he's still on those soft tires. Blue Dog is also still on those soft tires, but however, XJ and Lazy Tell still on those fresh medium tires. As XJ is going to come around the final corner, and he will get by the Banana Cake Pie and will take the 4th spot. And so will the Lazy Towel as he gets around XJ Schmidt. As Steve gets another time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's now 9 seconds worth of penalties for Steve. And now here comes Roe. He's going to go into the pits. Oh, looks like he has also wing damage too. And I think he had a stop and go penalty as well. Hellbent's going to get by him as well. Go into 11th. And Rudy and Danny Rick are still battling it out. Rudy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's now 6 seconds worth of penalties for the New Zealand driver. He's right on that rear diffuser of Danny Rick. Into turn 6 we go. He's still maintaining that 9th spot, but Toes Rudy is still within range. He's going to probably try to get him on DRS. Now they're going to go towards the end of the second sector. Now towards the second DRS zone. It will be wide open for this Williams driver. And the rear wing is, in fact, open. And let's see if he can get by him. He's still behind him, still behind him, still behind him. But Danny Rick, great defending by this Alfa Romeo. Great job by the Alfa Romeo to defend off Toes Rudy so far. So far we got Dougie Falcon in first place, Crackerjack in second, Blue Dog in third, XJ Schmidt in fourth, but closing the gap on the drivers that are in front of him on the soft tires. Lazy Towel in fifth, Banana Cake Pie in sixth, Harass in seventh. It looks like he is coming down the straight now. Danny Rick in eighth, Toes Rudy in ninth, as Rudy gets DRS, and he's going to go on the inside into turn one. Wheel to wheel with the Alfa Romeo driver, and he gets by him. Oh, a spin, and looks like Rudy made contact with the Alfa Romeo driver, and it looks like he reset further back from Danny Rick. I think the stewards are going to need to have a look at that one. It looked like, to me, Danny Rick clipped the left rear tire of Toes Rudy, and I don't think that was in way Toes' fault, as Hellbent gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's now 9 seconds for him. Let's check on back at the front here, as Dougie Falcon is now going to go into the pits. Crackerjack will also go into the pits. Blue Dog is going to stay out on those soft tires. But XJ, so far, it looks like he's getting closer and closer into the final turn. He's at the start-finish line. Dougie Falcons, he's about to come out of the pits. Will the undercut work for this McLaren driver? Down the straight, it has worked! XJ is now into provisional P1 as Dougie now finally comes out of the pits. The undercut has worked for XJ Schmidt as he's now in front of the Mercedes of Dougie Falcon. But it did not work for the towel, the very lazy towel, as he sits behind the Mercedes driver. And Tay Lunacy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So Blue Dog right now within 5 seconds of XJ Schmidt, but he has got to pit at some point. He has to pit. Those tires cannot last as much longer. The more he stays out there, the more that XJ and Dougie and Tal and Banana Cake Pie will come closer, as Tal gets a 3-second time penalty again. This is 9 seconds now for this Ferrari driver. 9 seconds of penalties. And he was looking promising in qualifying. He looked like he had the pace and everything, but the penalties so far are just killing him. Blue Dog now coming around the final corners It looks like he lost the back end just a little bit. Excuse me. Lost the back end a little bit. XJ is coming around the final turns as well. Dougie Falcon's not too far from either. Just about 2 seconds so far splitting between the McLaren and the Mercedes driver. Blue Dog is now finally in the pits. XJ will come by him very easily, go into first place. So the ARL2 driver of, or ARL2 champion driver, I should say, of XJ Schmidt is now in P1. Locking it up so far. And we've got nearly 16 laps to go into this Russian Grand Prix. So pretty much now, Blue Dog has dropped back down to 7th after pitting, getting passed by Tal, and Lunacy gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Anyways, I was going to say, Tal overtook him, Banana Cake Pie, Harass, and Crack Jack managed to get by Blue Dog. And Tay Lunacy's in the pits. It looks like he's now going on to the medium compound tires. But he will not drop any positions as Steve is too far back to get anywhere near him. And it looks like there's a little tangle there from, it looks like Reedy and I think Sick and Destroy in turn 3. I don't know what happened between those two. I'm going to ride on board with him. It looks like there's a battle between Rowie and Sick and Destroy. It looks like Rowie's got a little bit more pace than Sick and Destroy going into turn 6. And Sick and Destroy still defending his line. So far, good driving there from Sick and Destroy, just trying to defend the British driver of the Racing Point of Rowie. But Rowie is going to definitely get DRS as Dougie Falcon sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:35.8. And he cuts that corner and gets in the back tire of Sick and Destroy. Yellow flags are out. I think that's a Haas. I want to say, I think that was Steve, and it looks like Steve has just retired. I think he just did. And it's a virtual safety car. Yet again, the 3rd time we've had a virtual safety car. I don't think I caught the incident, but it looks like, and Rowie gets a drive-through penalty for speed in the pit, for speed under virtual safety car. I almost said speed in the pit lane. Sick and Destroy will go into the pits. Schmeg into the pits. It looks like there might have been a tangle between him and Reedy, and it might have cost him some wing damage and some valuable positions. And Rowie will not overtake Rudy, but it doesn't matter because he's going to have to serve a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. We're going to go back to green flag racing. Reedy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But I want to say that's what now, 12 seconds of penalties right now for Reedy 98. Let's see if we can find any good battles so far. It looks like Dougie Falcon's getting much closer to the ARL2 champion of XJ Smith. The Wannabes driver wants to get it by him. He's down in the final corners and still on the rear diffuser of the McLaren. Now they're going to go into the main straight, and Dougie will have DRS wide open for the Mercedes driver. And it is open, and he actually tried to fend him off, but Dougie's going to go around on the outside and get by him easily. Great move there from the Mercedes driver, Dougie Falcon. That puts him back into first place. But the McLaren driver of XJ Smith is still behind him, still on that rear diffuser. It's still going to be a close battle. He's going to try to go on the inside. Can he? No, he cannot. Rudy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as those drivers go a little bit wide. But it's still a good battle between the Mercedes and the McLaren. But will XJ Schmidt get a good runoff of the second DRS zone? Remember, he's not too far off. He's only about 7/10 back of the Mercedes driver. DRS is now open for the McLaren. He's only got 33% ERS. Dougie's got at least 44, but he's running on a hot lap. And XJ's going to at least save it. He'll move back into mode 1. But he's still right behind Dougie Falcon. I have a feeling that we're going to see some battles between this McLaren and the Mercedes. This is proper racing so far. And so far, both of those drivers have no time penalties. All right, here we go into the final turns. XJ is only 9/10, but he's still got DRS in range. And Dougie Falcon sets another fast lap with a 1:35.043. The DRS is now open for XJ Schmidt, and he does not get close into range. Roe gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Schmidt now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, that's unfortunate for the McLaren driver. He's been having such a good race so far, trying to just stay within range of Dougie Falcon. But will that penalty prove costly? I think that could, with about 13 laps to go into this race so far. We're going to check on some more battles right now. Let's see if I can find any. And it looks like we got Rowie into the pits, and Steve has left the session. Rowie gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So far it looks like Dougie Falcon and Schmidt are still trying to get a little bit of a battle going, as Schmidt's got a little bit closer this time. He's now within 6/10 back of the Mercedes. Now into the final turns. It's turns 14 and 15, 14 and 15. He's still within range, 8/10 back. Now into turns 17 and 18, coming around the final turns, and he's still within DRS range. He still is. I'm still going to ride on board with him. His DRS will be wide open for this McLaren driver. DRS is now open on the rear wing. Down the straight he goes, and he's not even close into range of the Mercedes. And so far, it looks like he's running on no ERS, and neither is Dougie, and they are within the same range of ERS. For Dougie, he's at least 43%, 45% now. And Schmidt is at least 38% of ERS, but still within range. All right, now here it comes. You got DRS again for XJ Schmidt. Will he open up that DRS? He's got the DRS wide open. And no, he's still not within range, but he's getting a little bit closer. Only now 3/10 back. Now it's now 4/10 back. He's still within range of getting Dougie Falcon. I'm still riding on board with this McLaren driver. Now into the final turns. He's now running on mode 4, but it looks like Dougie's now running on hot lap, and he's got plenty of ERS to burn. Look at that, 70% compared to XJ's 50%. DRS is now open, but Dougie's going to have a much better run because he's running on that hot lap, just burning off of that energy. Now we got 9 laps to go. You're running orders still right now. Dougie Falcon in first, SJ Schmidt in second. Mary Lazy Towel in third, Banana K. Clyde in fourth, Harasson 18 and 5th, Crackerjack 19 and 6th, Blue Dog 10 and 7th, Hellbent 001 in 8th, Danny Rick 03, in 9th, Toastbury New Zealand in 10th so far. And it looks like a little battle between Crackerjack and Harass, going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Great move there by that McLaren driver of Crackerjack, but it looks like Harass is going to fight back. Hellbeck gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but it looks like the McLaren driver is still holding him off. So he's trying to give at least XJ that valuable points. Harass is trying to go for it. He will not. He will back off into that turn there. Still right behind Crackerjack, now going into turn 6. Still behind him in that rear diffuser. Crackerjack still maintaining that defense so far. Great defense so far from the McLaren, but he's got to have Harass with DRS going into the second DRS zone, as he will get DRS. He's about a 5/10 down of Crackerjack. DRS is now open for the Red Bull driver. There's a caution between Sector 1 and 2. I don't know exactly. There's a lockup there from Crackerjack, but he's still maintaining his spot. Great job there, though, for Crackerjack so far. Schmeck gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Harass is still within the rear diffuser of Crackerjack, but it's only 7/10 back. But he's still got plenty of ERS to burn. But Crackerjack does have a little bit as well. He's only got 50% compared to Harass's 70%. Now he's going to run on a hot lap, try to get away from this Red Bull, and it looks like he will do exactly that, even though he's got DRS behind him. Actually, it looks like Harass is getting a little bit of run, but no, he's not going to get him, as Very Lazy Towel gets 12 seconds of penalty so far. So much unfortunate driving luck for this Ferrari. And it looks like Dougie Falcon, it looks like he's got the spread a little bit more now between him and XJ. Crackerjack gets another penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's now 6 or 9 seconds worth of penalties so far for the McLaren. And it looks like they're going wheel to wheel. This is between Hellbent and Rudy still maintains the spot. Oh, he's going loose into turn 5, but still maintains the Williams. Great skill there from Rudy, but he goes pretty wide there off of turn 6. But so far, some good driving there from the Williams. Still trying to maintain the spot. It looks like he's now trying to close it a little bit. And it looks like there's a caution in Sector 3. What's happened? It's Crackerjack. It's spun around. It's Crackerjack. And Harass has got by him. Blue Dog has got by him. And now Crackerjack has dropped 2 spots into P7. Oh, my goodness. That is unfortunate. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if he's lost it, contact, whatever the case may be. And now Crackerjack's gone very wide into turn 17. Some unfortunate events now for this McLaren. And it looks like Dougie's just making the spread. He's growing that spread even bigger. It's actually just conceding a bit of ground here. Losing now, it looks like about, I'm going to say at least about 4, maybe 5/10 a lap so far. He is definitely conceding more and more ground as we go along. And it looks like there's a battle between the Schmeg and Roe. Going wheel to wheel. Oh my goodness! The Schmeg has almost lost it. He almost lost it, but maintain it. Good skill there from the Schmeg, but he lost a bit of ground trying to get by Roe, who's currently in front of him in 14th. And will now go into the pits. Must have suffered some wing damage. Some kind of contact, I think. Reedy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. What is that now, like 15 seconds of penalties? Danny Rick now gets a penalty. You know, the thing is about Danny Rick, he's not very known for getting so many penalties. This is a pair of a rare occurrence. Rudy gets another penalty. This time, I think he's got at least 9 seconds of penalties so far added to his name. So it looks like the spread has gone a little bit more, I want to say at least spread out. We got at least 8 more laps to go until the checkered flag. But so far the spread's looking a little bit out there. Dougie Falcon has increased the gap at 1.6 seconds from XJ Schmidt on the last lap. And XJ goes pretty wide there in that turn there, but still, you gotta say though that the penalty though from XJ, that also is gonna kill him too. He's lost a bit of pace, but he's also got that penalty hanging on like a monkey on his back. Some not good fortune events for him so far. But Tal though, I gotta say, he's had a good car, but a disappointing race so far with over 12 seconds of penalties. He had a great qualifying session, but so far he's just not been there just because of the penalties, and he's lost so much ground from XJ and Dougie. I have a feeling though between Dougie and XJ, this is going to be a proper rivalry going into the Wannabes League though, that's for sure. Let's see if we can check on see if I can find any battles going on. It looks like the Schmeg, for some reason he is ghosted. I have no idea why. But he's been lapped. Okay. Did he, look, wait, what's happened? XJ's gone to the pits? Oh, he's going for a two-stop strategy. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. I was expecting at least a one-stop strategy, maybe from soft to mediums and stretch it, but okay. XJ is going to go for a two-stop. Now I get where he's going with this. Yes, I would say the medium tires could work because they don't seem to wear off that much, but the thing about this track, it's not a tire killer, but you want to at least try to get at least some momentum, some pace and ground, and I think that's what XJ is going to look for. I think this could, will this two-stop strategy work? It could, but remember, I'm thinking that Dougie could at least stretch those tires until the very end. So right now that puts Dougie Falcon is still in first. Very Lazy Towel in second place. Banana Cake Pie in third. And XJ Schmidt in fourth. Harass riding up the top five. As the Schmeg gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Dougie Falcon also just set the fastest lap of the race again with a 1:34.9. Just went, what, maybe about 1/10 faster? All right. So far, Dougie Falcon is still maintaining that pace so far. Lazy Towel, 11 seconds back of Dougie Falcon. Banana Cake Pie still maintaining third place. XJ still maintaining fourth. Harass maintaining fifth place. Let's see if we can find any good battles going on between. And it looks like it's Sick and Destroy and Taylor. Oh, okay. I take that back. So Dougie Falcon just lapped him. Okay, that's something I forgot to mention. This is also on ghosting. So if you're a lap car being lapped by a lead car, you're basically going to be ghosted. And it looks like Danny Rick has gone into the pits for what I believe he's going to go into what appears to be, I think, the medium compound tires. So that puts Rudy into 8th, Hellbent into 9th, and Reedy now just overtook him into 10th. And so does MJ Coleman 88, as he will get by him into 11th. So far, I would gotta say, though, is that we've had some good battles so far, but the thing about this track, well, like I've said in the beginning, is about the pace. It's about momentum. So far, Dougie's got all the momentum. Tao had that momentum, but the penalties killed him, and so far he's just conceded so much ground, though, that it's definitely cost him so far. XJ, he's been running a fairly good race so far, but I'm thinking that two-stop strategy so far might be a bit of a risk, because with him now going into fourth, Tao could stretch those tires, but remember, Tao does have 12 seconds of penalties. So, if Banana Cake Pie gets somewhat within 1 second behind, maybe 1.5 seconds behind the Lazy Towel, the very Lazy Towel, Banana Cake Pie could claim P2 based off of penalties. So right now we're just approaching the 24th lap of this race. Dougie Falcon still maintaining that lead so far, just dominating this race in the second half of the race, I should say. But you know what else I think helped him out too? Is the VSCs. We've had at least 3 of them so far, but Dougie had a lot of good spreads, but XJ did as well for a little bit. He wasn't too far, and Lunacy gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But the thing is, the VSCs, yeah, I know the undercut did work for XJ, but remember, Dougie was not too far away, and he had a lot of pace, too, as well. Reedy gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's at least... I'm thinking that's either 15 or 18 seconds of penalties. So he's could have dropped down quite a lot. He's probably going to drop down into probably 13, maybe even 14th if possible. So to give you a little bit of an understanding of where the points is currently so far, Dougie Falcon right now is tied with Rudy in the lead points. But the thing is, though, Dougie Falcon has a much bigger spread. He's definitely got more of it, and Rudy gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. A lot of multiple warnings I have called throughout this race tonight, I swear. But yeah, to give you an idea of where the standings are, Dougie Falcon in first, and second is Rudy, but Danny Rick is in third, but he might drop down a little bit based off where he is so far. If you want to know the points, it's a little bit different though compared to, let's say, other leagues or F1. At first you get 25, second you get 22, third and you get 19, and fourth you get 18, fifth you get 17, sixth you get 16 points, 7th you get 15, 8th you get 14, 9th you get 13, 10th you get 12, and then so on. But if you get the fastest lap, you do get 2 extra points. So far, the winners, I forgot to mention the other winner so far from the season 2. So Dougie Falcon, yes, he has 2 wins, but the other winner was from Brazil, Banana Cake Pie. So if you want to know also like what we're doing, what this league is doing, is that we're basically running a reverse calendar. So basically we start from Abu Dhabi to Brazil and then USA, but we did cut off some tracks, like including Mexico and Japan. That's why we're racing in Russia right now. So right now we're within like 3 laps to go into the race. Towel gets another 3-second penalty. That's now 15 seconds of penalty so far for the very lazy Towel. Now at this rate, Banana Cake Pie could get P2. So yeah, now we're reaching the final stages of the race. So far, Dougie Falcon in P1, Towel in P2, but still got lots of penalties added to his name. Banana Cake Pie in 3rd, XJ Smith in 4th, Harassing in 5th, Blue Dog in 6th, Cracker Jack in 7th, Toesbury in 8th, 9th and Hellbent, and 10th is Reedy 98, rounding off the top 10 so far. And so far, the gap, though, is just widespread between a lot of these drivers so far. Dougie Falcon within 12 seconds ahead of the very lazy Towel. Blue Dog and Harass seem to have a little bit of, I think this is like the closest battle so far within the final stages of the race. Harass and Blue Dog are within 1.2 seconds behind each other, or within each other, But will Blue Dog make that ultimate change? But the thing is, Blue Dog also has penalties. Harass hasn't had a penalty yet so far. Harass is really not known for having penalties at all. He's definitely knows like where to be in certain corners. Gotta say, that's a great shot there of Olympic Park there, by the way, from that helicopter cam. Now we're going to see Dougie Falcon go around the final corner, and this will be the final lap of the race. And there's a crash in Sector 1. I wonder what's going on. I'm not sure, but there's a little incident between, it looks like a Red Bull and a Toro Rosso between MJ and Reedy, and MJ goes up into 11th. And it looks like there's a foul between the Toro Rossos. Taylor Lucy and Reedy going wheel to wheel. It looks like Reedy still maintains it. And Hellbent gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So Dougie Falcon having a commanding lead so far into this race. Of course, when I been on lobbies with him, I asked him, like, how does he feel about this race? He said, I feel like I'm going to dominate. So far, he's definitely proven his case so far. 13 seconds ahead of the very lazy Tao. And now he's going to go into the final stretches, going towards the end of Sector 2 down the second DRS straight. But hey, DRS is something he doesn't need. Tao gets 18 seconds of penalty. That now might bump him into 4th place. So it looks like it could be the running of Dougie Falcon in first. Rudy gets another 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. And now there's 2 corners left for the Mercedes driver of Dougie Falcon for the in this 4th race. And for the 2nd time in a row, coming around the final corner of the Mercedes driver of Dougie Falcon wins the Russian Grand Prix as he slides and hits the wall. Very lazy Tao coming around the final corners, and he will get into 2nd, but he's got those penalties within the back of him. Banana Cake Pie now goes into P2. Let's see where XJ goes. He goes into P3 based off of penalties. So that puts Tao now into 4th. Harass is now the next driver to cross the line in 5th place. Rovi and the Schmeg and Stick and Destroy have finished their races too, as they were nearly a lap down. Harass finishes in 5th. Taylor Lucy with another penalty. Blue Dot coming around the final corner. Finishes in 6th place. Crackerjack, the next driver across the line. He spins. Oh my goodness, what a trip there by Crackerjack 19. That was brilliant. Gets across the line at 17th. Toes Ready, next driver to cross the line in 8th place. But will penalties kill him? That answer, I think, will be no. A little bit of a battle between Danny Rick and Hellbent. And Danny Rick gets by Hellbent. But I don't think that's going to matter anyway, because Hellbent's got more penalties than Danny Rick as they go across the line now. And Danny Rick will finish in 9th. Hellbent will finish in 10th, rounding off the top 10 spots. MJ, the next driver to cross the line. And a little battle between the Toro Rossos. And Tay Lunacy gets ahead of Reedy based of penalties. So Dougie Falcon, for the 2nd week in a row, is your Wannabes League F1 winner for the 2nd time in a row. Some brilliant driving there from all the drivers. Great job out there by everybody. Great racing. So far this season, I gotta say, has been looking pretty promising. A little bit of champagne's popping out there. Little celebrations there for Dougie Falcon winning the race. And you can see now with the Banana Cake Pie and XJ Schmidt just celebrating on the podiums with them. Brilliant racing there from everybody. Great job. And gotta say, great race so far. I'd say for probably the first stream we've ever done for the Wannabes Racing League. And I'm very happy to actually do it with everybody that probably watched this race. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week for the next race. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.